Hi, my name is Lainey, and today we're going to discuss some of James G's learning principles from his new book, What Video Games Teach Us About Learning and Literacy. Now, growing up, I really wasn't much of a gamer, but I did have an older brother. And let me tell you, this boy loved video games. My mother would literally ground him for playing too much. And so I personally never understood it, but my brother did. And I would look at him and I would say, why do you play them? Like, what makes these video games so great that you spend your whole life just staring at a screen? And I'm glad to know that I'm not the only one that asks these questions. But James G, he asked a better question than me. He said, what can we learn from these video games? And it really started when he noticed that his 6-year-old son was really involved and had so much enjoyment and attention to his game that he started asking these questions. And throughout his whole novel, he'll discuss several learning principles, but on this vlog, don't worry, I'm not going to talk your ear off. I'm only going to talk about like 3 or 4 of them if we have the time. And so, ultimately, G's trying to say that video games, although some people don't like them, can teach us a lot and can actually improve our learning if we use them wisely. So the 4 learning principles that I want to discuss today is the committed learning principle, the identity principle, the amplification, and achievement principles. So that's just like wordy. What do they really mean and what do they say? So first I'll give you kind of what his book says. A committed learner will participate in engaged achievements as an extension to their real-world identities in relation to their virtual identities. Okay, trust me, it's not crazy. So pretty much what he's saying is learners who feel commitment will continue to have effort and practice, and that we have our self-identity, our real-world identity as Lainey. I am Lainey. And then we have our virtual, which is whatever I play as. And if I put them together, so like in education you would say, I am Lainey and I am a student. If I put them together, greatness happens. That they fuse together and it's a bond. And that if I keep working with this relationship, that it'll be a commitment and effort and I will want to evolve these. So you can kind of see this, like if you tell, like if a kid really thinks that students are great at math and he's not great at math, so he takes his real world and he takes his virtual or his student identity and he says, I want to be good at math. So he will try and try again. And you'll put lots of effort and practice into it. The second principle that I want to talk about today is the identity principle. And what G says is the learner is able to choose multiple identities in such a way that he can reflect upon the new and old identities. So he talks about like the real world, the virtual, and the projective identity. Your real world is like me. The virtual is how I play as a game. And then the projective is kind of the fusion of both. It's what I decide I will project upon my virtual identity. And so this principle says that I have all of these identities. So me as a person, I love riding horses. I love to do this. So my identity would be like student, daughter, athlete, so on and so on. And what he's saying is that I have all these different ways of expressing myself and that it's okay and I can learn and grow from those. And I can say this is the old me and this is the new me. Not good or bad, just a mix. And it's like where creativity kind of comes into play in our education system. We have 2 more principles that I want to discuss real quick. Amplification of input principle. G says that the learner is able to put a small input and receive a larger amount. So it's like I tell my little sister if she gives me a high five, I give her 3 candy bars. Giving a high five takes no effort, but eating those 3 candy bars, that's good. That's like $3 worth of candy on a college budget. That's a lot. And so what G says is if we give students a lot for their hard work, that they'll work even harder. So instead of just being like, you have to do the work, there's something that they're getting out of it. We can see that in video games where you go to the next level for just pushing buttons. But hey, if it works for you, it works for you. And then finally, sorry I'm rushing a little bit, I have a time limit, the achievement principle. And this is what G says is, learners need intrinsic rewards that are tailored to the learner's level, effort, and mastery of content. So that's saying, like, in kindergarten, I get 1 star. I work, and I know I get 1 star. But in the 2nd grade, I work a little bit harder, and I get 2 stars. And so it's kind of like a video game. The first level, you, like, only get 1 ball, but then the next level, you get, like, 3 and, like, a bag of stones. I don't know. Whatever game you're playing. The idea here is just saying that for each level, there's achievements, and that for within those levels, there's different achievements, because I can be a 1st grader that doesn't try, or I can be a 1st grader that tries really, really hard. Anyway, I just wanted to introduce those to you. I hope you liked my blog. Please like and share, and look for new videos.